What's up, people? It's Guru. Welcome to channel Keep It Real, Raw, and Uncut. Today's topic is a Naruto discussion. It's not gonna be just a normal Naruto discussion. It's gonna be how I'm put realism versus idealism, or vice versa, whichever way you want to call it. And recently, I had a couple of debates. Not gonna say debates, but I ain't gonna say discussions with not only the community in one of my videos, but with the Shonen Knights and other people. And we were talking about how this whole, the whole thing about Toby Rama, and everybody trying to say, a lot of reviewers were talking about Toby Rama was a racist and he was all this, that, and the other. And I defended Toby Rama, right? I was one of the few people that tried to defend him, and because I saw the bigger picture. He's a racist, he did this, he did that. That's what everybody was saying. A lot of top-notch reviewers said the same thing, And then that chapter came out and pretty much just destroyed everything it was saying. And then the flip-flop started. Then everybody started going back on their word. Oh, I really didn't mean it like that, and try to downplay what they had said. Like, nah, keep it real, homie. You know what you said, man. Keep it real. But I saw the bigger picture from the get-go. A lot of times I've noticed in shonen, any kind of like a media, I guess, like that is shown, whether it be anime or cartoons, they like to really romanticize idealism and that childlike innocence and being naive, and like that's a good thing. But the real world doesn't work like that. So I prefer characters that actually are based and planted firmly in reality. And a lot of times people don't like that because they try to escape reality through their entertainment. So they can see like, well, the perfect world, or how far people will go for love, or how far they go for friendship. But we know in real life, things don't work like that. People don't go that hard for their loved ones sometimes. They don't go that hard for their children or whatever. Some will, most of them won't. And case in point is Naruto. How he just threw aside everything just to chase after one friend, But yet his ultimate goal, he said, was to be acknowledged by the village and to be Hokage. But he put all that on hold just for one man. So, and that was like, he was saying that since he was a child. But then as he grew up, he still was spamming that whole, I gotta save Sasuke, I gotta save this one friend. And, it seemed like he just couldn't give up the fact that sometimes when you're in reality, when you live in the real world, you really come to the conclusion that some people aren't worth being saved. Even if you love them or have feelings for them, they might not be worth being saved. That's how some people get divorced. That's how some people end up actually murdering people or just disassociating themselves with their friends. Everybody ain't to be saved, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to be saved. That's the real world, So for you so why can't you just like not get that? Like, if somebody say they don't like you, they don't want to party, I know you want this. I know in your heart you want the best of your loved ones or your friends, but it don't work that way. Sometimes you got to count your losses and let that person walk down that path of darkness. It may not be their destiny to walk in the light. If you keep giving somebody chance after chance, but they keep choosing the darkness over light, that's where they want to be. You know what I'm saying? Just accept that, That's the thing. So you gotta ask it. And then that's what I felt about Hashirama too, when everybody was spamming that Hashirama and Madara being friends and things. And I was like, he looked at it with like, once again, with like childlike eyes. You can't grow up, man. And it was really bad in his situation because he was living during wartime. You know what I'm saying? His brothers were killed. He shed blood. He was a child killing grown men. His brother was killed by a group of grown men. So he knew what reality really was. He was living in it. He was living in his hell. So of course he wanted a better life, but life was not giving that to him, and he didn't have the power to change what the world was doing at that time. So when he talked to Madara, both of them wanted peace. Both of them wanted a better life because both of them had blood on their hands. Both of them had family members and loved ones killed. Both of them had people from their race, their clans killed. children, women, men, they've seen death and destruction. So of course you would want better. You want better. So of course when they went out there, they daydream like kids normally do. When you're young, you have that mindset that like the future is still out there, it's within your grasp. You still got time, you know. But as you get older and you start realizing that you got more days behind you than you do ahead of you, you start getting a bigger picture. Like, yo, you know, my time is running out. If things ain't changed my life, I gotta live in the real world. You know, this daydreaming like a child and dreaming ain't paying the bills. You know, dreams ain't gonna put food on the table. Dreams ain't gonna keep your kids safe. You know, so you gotta realize I gotta do what I gotta do, put my big boy pants on and be a man. You see, Hashirama had a hard time doing that. That's why being naive and idealism come in there. He kept dreaming and wanting a better place, which did come later on, but it only came when he had the power to change things. But when you saw, when they were at riverbed talking, Madara came to that conclusion before he did. He realized, like, look, let me step into reality and leave this idealism alone. We were kids and we were having fun doing all this talking about starting a village and that, but this is where we're living right now. This is the present. You know, we can say we want to happen in the future. That don't mean it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But this is the world that we live in right now. And right now, me and you are enemies. You know? So the world's not going to let us be friends. This situation's not going to let us be friends. So it's going to have to go out to one of us win. You see, Madara came to that conclusion already. It's like sometimes you can't always save a friend, no matter how much you want it. No matter how much you want peace, you can't get it. You know, so he was gonna find peace through winning the war. And like hopefully at the end of it, if Hashirama's still alive and the war's won, they could be friends, you know, because there'd be a peace treaty drawn. But he ended up losing, you know, and when he lost, he still had that bitterness and stuff that usually comes with reality. That's also a drawback of living and walking in reality. You harbor a lot of hard feelings, and the scars run deep living in reality. When you're idealistic, you can usually kind of, I guess, just living in that kind of dream world that things are going to get better, having that positive. It's easy to be very positive. Living in reality easily makes you into a pessimist, you know. And like I said, the war had struck him hard, and he was walking in that. He gave up on his dreams. So when the things got hard, he saw that his clan had kind of deserted him, and he had lost the war. His brother was dead. His father was dead. He had nothing left. You know, it's like he finally ran into a wall. It was just like, yo, this is it. There's nothing else left, you know. So like most people, he was ready to accept death, which is, like I said, reality based, you know. And when Tobirama, another person who was living in reality, said, well, let's go ahead and end this. You know how you kill the snake, you cut off the head. So he said, look, when we kill this guy right now, this puts the end of the war and everything will be solved. But Hashirama, still having that idealistic mentality, was like, I can save this man, I can bring him back to the light, you know. And still yet, my man Madara, being hardened by reality and by walking in realism, his heart was hardened by this, you know. He was like, he still wanted bloodshed. Like, look, kill yourself or kill your brother, you know. It's still Hashirama, that should have woke him up. He didn't wake up still. He was willing to sacrifice himself, saying that, well, if this man was truly my friend and worth me dying over and worth me trying to save and rehabilitate, he wouldn't ask me to do something like this. You know what I'm saying? But yet, being naive and being idealist, I'm gonna kill myself for the sake of this. He only looked up that it actually worked on Madara. You know? So Madara's like, look, okay, screw it. I understand that you want peace. You've been telling me, you know, you've been screaming that the whole time, but hey, it is what it is. So of course, that's where the romanticism comes in, you know, like making it okay, they're friends and stuff, and they sitting back on the, they make it look all romantic. They sitting back on the little cliff and talking about the village and everything. But once again, reality struck, you know, and the pessimist, and like I said, his heart was hardened by reality, like it happens to everybody. He just couldn't take it, you know, when he realized that the dreams that he had as a child was the dreams that he has as a man. Those are totally different things. Like I said, he was looking through a man's eyes now, and he felt that the way things were going wasn't going to suit him. It wasn't the vision of what the future that he actually wanted anymore. The vision as a child, yeah, that might have been it, but the vision of what he had as a man, living in reality, this wasn't what he wanted. You know, he wanted to be over a clan. He wanted to be the ruler. You know what I'm saying? And then Toby Ramos was living in the real world. He's like, nah, it ain't going down like that, man. You know, that's just not sane. You know, you don't do things like that in reality. You know, that's why when they had the little, when they came back as Edo Tenseis, and Toby Ramos checked them right there to his face, like his brother was like, look, you were too naive, being an idealist. Madara was a realist, but he was extreme with it. Both of them was on the both extremes of both ends. So he was saying, I was the one in the middle. You know what I'm saying? He had to find balance in between that and do what it took to get the job done, like an adult does. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all you just didn't go it right. You can't go down your path. Both of their paths were gonna lead their clans to destruction. So he said he had to harbor the good and the bad. That's why he ran the clan, and that's how under his watch everything ran smoothly. A lot of people say, well, he did it to the Uchihas and he oppressed. He did not oppress the Uchihas. You want to say some ostracized? Yeah. But you got to think, those people, he made them police officers that would resent them. But think about it. You're a police officer. You're placing the security of the whole village on these people. That's an important job. That's just as important as being a Hokage. He placed the whole safety of the village on these people. Why would you do that? And within what police officer you know, if it's a good police officer, doesn't have honor in what he does to serve and to protect? That's the job of a police officer. This is what he gave to this clan. He gave them that ability. They had the ability to issue warrants, arrest people, detain people, and whatever. I guess even if it needed to be, use deadly force on anybody in the clan, not just their own members, anybody inside that village. They had that type of power within the village. That's not an oppressive power, you know what I'm saying? If anything, they had more power than the normal citizens of the village did. They had the right to arrest them. They had the right to detain them. They had the right to question them. They had the right to search and seize their homes. That's a power. That's a great power right there. And he put it upon these people because he knew that they would be good at that job. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he had to put checks and balance in to keep everything under control. That's what adults do. That's what governments do. You know, without rules, society crumbles. And he had his thing running like a clock. That's why when the third came to speak, he said, I didn't live up to your stature. He didn't live up to his beliefs and the way he ran it. He gave it to Danzo. See, the third was more of an idealist too. He was more on the Hashirama side, but he knew he needed to harbor some of the darkness too. But he put that in Danzo's hands, and Danzo was more on moderate side, the extreme side. So that's what happened. You had an extreme, and the third wasn't as bad as, it wasn't as naive as the first Hokage, and Danzo wasn't as extreme as Madara, but they were bad just enough to cause all these problems within the village, for all these problems to happen under the third's watch. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that's why I like for my characters to be more on the real side than idealists. It's easy to relate to a realistic character. That doesn't make sense. Let's think. Would you sacrifice the world to save one friend? What kind of sense does that make? And then that's why the whole notion like Hashirama and Naruto is really a dumb. it's really dumb because they were willing to, if you're the Hokage, your first and foremost duties come to your village, the people. Nothing, there's no person is above the village. You are to serve and protect the people of that village. You're supposed to keep everything right. You're supposed to be a leader of men. That's your sworn duty. So if one person stand on line, you have one. You can't just sit there and say, I'm gonna let everybody else suffer just for this one person. I have a friend that I'm gonna put on a pedestal above all the other people. What about their family, their friends, and their loved ones? They got people that they love just as much as you love your friend. So you gonna let all that go to waste to run and chase after one man that's following his dreams, is following his own ambition, or got his own ideals that he wants to live after? That's not reality. That's stupid. That's what Sasuke. That's what Naruto does for Sasuke. That's what Hashirama did for Madara. That's what Tobirama came and I was like, look, my duty is to the village. I'm going to maintain order in this village. I'm going to make sure that this village runs efficiently and everybody is going to stay safe and everything. There will be law and there will be order in my village. That's what Tobirama stood for, and that's what he did. He had structure. He had discipline. Tuning exams, the black ops. He did all that. That was Tobirama's doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why when they were prospering under his watch, because he held it down, everything crumbled after his death. A lot of people say, well, it was a Cold War. That doesn't make sense. So would you rather it be a Cold War than to be a real war when everybody's actually battling and destroying each other? You know how much damage would have been done to the village? And then a case in point, people would say, well, they were planning the coup on them for being at the Uchiha still got wiped out because there was more clans in there than it was them. They weren't the biggest clan in the Leaf Village. So if they would have struck a coup, they would end up leading themselves back to destruction, doing the same thing that Madara was doing. So, like I said, that's why I Tobirama's my to me he was the best Hokage. And that's why I like this character, because he is believable. He is a reality-based character. He knows, like, I have to put away, you know, the whole passage of the Bible. I'm kind of paraphrasing what it says. Jesus said, well, when I was a child, I spoke as a child and acted as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. That's what Tobirama did. You know, it's like, this is grown man business. This is a grown man's world. I can't have this childlike innocence and being naive like a child. That doesn't work in real life. You know what I'm saying? You have to grow up and be a man and do man things. If you want to be a leader of men, you first have to be a man and think like a man and walk like a man. So men walk amongst men. You know what I'm saying? You don't want somebody in charge of you that's a child or thinks like a child. You know, it doesn't work that way. A man raises a child. That's how it goes. But I guess I'll go a little bit off topic. But that's what I was thinking about this whole Naruto, how this whole romanticizing idealism. It sounds good, like somebody loves their friend or loves someone so much that they'll forsake the whole world just for this one person. And then, but you ask yourself, that's how much logic does that make? How much sense does that make? Just to let the world, like some people say, just let the world burn just for one person. Because they believe it or not, is that what y'all been crying about Obito? Is that not what the same thing he's doing? Oh, it was Ren, it was Ren, it was Ren, it was Ren. Is that not the same thing he was doing? And you'll notice, like, all these conflicts always involve the Uchiha. There's got to be a reason behind that, y'all. But yo, I'll let that go, man. Tell me what y'all think, man. I know the discussion was all over the place, man. But do you like your characters based in reality or in there, man? I'm not, you know. Just tell me what you think, man. I hope you enjoyed this discussion, man. This is the Guru. I'll let y'all fellas later. Peace.